Live from the Export Beer Garden studio and brought to you by Export Ultra, the beer for the rural community down there at the Field Days. This is the Agenda podcast for Thursday, the 13th of June.
The Agenda podcast, the home of sporting nonsense and claptrap. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
Took us a while to get out of the Field Days yesterday too, didn't it?
Not as much as it took to get out of the V8s in Taupo. That was next level. I thought it was pretty slickly run, the exit.
Yes, I think because my long-suffering partner was looking at going down.
Yeah.
And I said to her that the move would be park up the river a little bit. There's a bloke offering jet boat rides to the Field Days. You pretty much get out off the boat and walk straight into Mystery Creek.
Yeah.
So I reckon that's probably the move.
$40.
$40 for an adult, 15 for a kid.
Does that return? Don't think so.
That's a good point.
I think
surely that's return.
Nah, I don't think it is.
Because what do you do with your car if you...
Well, then they get you on the way back, don't they?
That'd be a dirty trick. Like, oh, no, sorry, we're full up, mate. We can't take you back. We're only going one way.
That's why that guy was walking.
Oh, yes, we did see a guy walking out, massive lines of traffic, and he's walking with his bag. I presumed he'd had a Barney or someone.
Yeah, he did have a Swan Dry bag.
Full of stuff.
Full of stuff. He probably overspent. The missus like, what are you doing spending $2,000 on Swan Dry kit, you loser?
Yeah, and then she would have gone, well, you know what? Since you spent all that money, I'm going to go shopping myself. And he's like, well, I want to leave. Like, well, you can, but I'm driving. And I'm like, all right, fuck you, I'm walking then.
In the middle of nowhere as well.
It's something that only, you see every now and then and you're like, I know exactly what's happened here. The only reason that someone could be walking up that road like that is because he's had a blow up with the missus. Similar to our dear friend Rory McIlroy.
Yes.
That's called a segue in the industry. He had a divorce before, was it the PGA Championship, I think?
Yeah, no, he won a tournament and he broke up, won a tournament and then went to the US PGA.
Yeah. And didn't do too well.
No, and we backed him with having, post-nut clarity, kind of post-divorce clarity, hanging out with Tiger, heading to Hooters, just clearing the mind, the body and the soul.
Yes.
And he was going to clean up.
Because in the same week, this was the same week that Scotty Scheffler also got arrested.
Yeah.
There was a meme going around, Brad Pitt from Moneyball?
Yeah.
And there's the quote of him being like, fellas, you're still trying to recreate Tiger Woods. We can't do it. But what we can do is recreate him on the aggregate. So if we put Scotty Scheffler and we put our man Rory McIlroy in there, the thing is, we thought this was a massive omen. We were like, right, finally, all these years of, obviously things haven't been sweet. Yeah. So now he's put that behind him. He's going to be playing his best golf. Little did we know that behind the scenes, they're trying to get back together.
I know.
That's exactly what's come out today. He's back with the missus. They binned the divorce.
We crushed our hunch, our TAB hunch on him winning that tournament with the post-nut clarity.
Yeah.
And like you said, if we had known all the facts,
yes,
Rory,
that he was trying to get back with her.
Yeah.
And this is the problem when you get back with someone like this, because he will have told his friends, hey, we've got a divorce here. There would have been at least one friend who would be like, always hated that bitch. I'm so glad you got the divorce.
I'm that guy.
And then they get back together and you're like, fuck, I just told him that I hated his missus.
Yeah, but yes, a way to get, I've done that.
Yeah.
The way to get out of it goes, look, I was just trying to make you feel better, mate.
I actually love it.
She's a great lady. You belong together. I was just trying to support you because if you made the decision, I was like, yeah, fuck her, fuck that bitch. She was horrible.
Yeah. So.
Or you just double down and go, what? She sucks.
You idiot.
She sucks.
I told you she sucks. I told you she sucks.
I'm out.
I think this is only going to have a negative impact on his golf. Surely.
Yeah. It's now he's probably made some compromises as well. I imagine, like all relationships. I mean, I've been through it myself in the last 10 days. You make
some concessions.
You have to make some concessions.
Yeah.
And that's only going to be bad for McIlroy.
100%. Because what happens is, down the track, they're going to have a small argument about something silly.
Yep.
He put the bins out, sure, but he didn't put the tag on it, so the council didn't collect the bin.
Yeah.
And
speaking from experience.
I don't know. This is just a hypothetical. That could be something that may have happened. Why do you always leave it up to me to buy the... the stuff's going to come up.
Men do rubbish.
He'll say something to her, and then she'll go, well, you fucking divorced me. You
started it.
For the rest of his life, he will have this on her, or vice versa. I don't know who initiated it.
Yeah, that's true.
So whichever way it is, they're always going to have that in their back pocket.
Yeah, he may suck.
He might suck.
Yeah.
The long and short of it is, whichever way around, it can only impact his golf negatively. He's not going to come out with a laser sharp focus.
I had a friend who's come back to me, and he's always doubted his ability to close out tournaments in the last 10 years or so.
Your friend?
Yeah, and he's also said he can't even close out a divorce.
Yeah, that's true.
That's Stephen Mather. He sent me that. He was like, ABC, always be closing.
Always be closing.
Always be closing.
Couldn't close the deal.
Nah.
He got very close and it all fell apart last minute, and now he's back with her.
Hey, look, from the bottom of my heart, I hope that he's happy. I hope she's happy.
Yes.
Everything's worked themselves out. I hope they live a long and happy, healthy life together.
Well, I reckon they won't. I hope they do too. I just can't see it.
I was trying to be a bit genuine there.
And the victims here are us, the gambling public, because we were honey-dicked into thinking, here comes Rory. Bachelor Rory is going to be on one. He's out at Hooters with Tiger the night before. He's coming in,
What do you reckon Tiger's going to say to him at the US Open?
You pussy.
Dude. You pussy.
You pussy. Now it's just me and John Daly around at the Hooters.
Totally.
You were supposed to be there.
Charlie Woods is probably even shaking his head going, what are you doing?
You see, he's Tiger's swing coach now.
Is it? Does Tiger need a swing coach? Probably not. I think it's just one of those things where you're allowed to have a team around you at the US Open.
Yeah.
You have a caddy, you have a manager, you have a swing coach, and you have a nutrition coach, or whatever.
Yeah.
You're allowed a wider squad. He's gone, hey, Charlie, you want to be my swing coach?
100%.
He's like, totally.
That's exactly what he's done.
Yeah.
It is Kalen Ponga's dad working for the Knights.
Yeah.
It's just like, let's make up a bullshit title. We'll bring this guy in. What's Steve Hansen's job over at the...
Oh, rugby director or something?
Yeah, director of rugby operations or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's not the coach.
Nah.
But I think...
He's just out the stands. I can call Nuggy.
Yeah.
That's pretty much. He's got a Rolodex.
That's actually what it is.
Yeah.
Because that's where Joey Manu's going. So I think...
I can get Joey Manu.
I'll get Joey Manu over here.
I'll text Nuggy. Nuggy, you don't have Joey Manu. No, I'll get him over here.
He's got him on Instagram. That's no good to me, Nuggy.
I've DM'd him.
I need a phone number.
I've DM'd him.
Yeah.
That's no good, Nuggy.
I need a phone number, not a cell phone. I need a landline. So yeah, that is exactly what they paid him for, and that's why Charlie's the swing coach as well, because it's like, yeah, who cares? We're talking about poaching players from rugby league to rugby union. Again, if there's any young broadcasters out there listening, that's how you do a segue. Carter Gordon has signed with the Titans.
Outrageous. I mean, obviously the Titans know something that I don't, because I saw Carter Gordon play against the Hurricanes. He had a shocking first half.
Yeah.
And he's not a big guy, because in league, it's a totally different body shape. Like, everyone's pretty much the same size in terms of height.
Yeah, they're not tall.
No, they're not tall. They're like, you bump into Steve Price. I'm taller than Steve Price. I mean, he's wide, don't get me wrong.
Stocky as hell.
Stocky as hell. But most of the players are, except about two positions, which is the halves.
Yeah. Generally, fullback's quite tall. I don't really know why.
Yeah, but the fullback these days have to be quite big, because you're running it back. Like, you are running it back from those kicks, and you can't be Terry Wright.
Yeah, yeah.
You've got to be, like, Chance he's a solid unit.
He's a unit.
Yeah, he's a total unit. And so, yeah, I don't know where they're going to put Carter Gordon. And he doesn't strike me as someone and go, he'd be good at league.
No, well, the thing is, so he's a pivot in union. If he's a pivot in league, he'd be a halfback. I think maybe that, but it's quite full on to throw the keys of your franchise to a guy who has just come over from a different sport. You know what I mean? It'll be quite a steep learning curve. Having said that, they are two very similar games. They are the Australian and New Zealand accents of sport.
Maybe we don't know. Maybe Carter Gordon grew up playing league.
Yeah, probably did.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
I
I don't know background there. I'm just saying, just from his rugby career, it doesn't strike me as the kind of guy you grab and chuck into a league environment.
I had heard this rumour quite a few times. Am I right in thinking he was the only first five that Eddie Jones took over to the World Cup? I think he was.
Yeah.
They did only take one, which was why it was such a slap in the face to Quade Cooper, which is why we loved it so much.
I mean, Quade Cooper for me I'd say, okay, he'd have a go at league.
Oh,
he'd probably be all right.
He'd be a great fullback at league.
So, yes, I'd say him, I wouldn't be surprised. But Carter Gordon, I don't know, unless he goes over summer, eats 1,000 chickens, protein shakes, and puts on another 15 kgs.
Test him.
Yeah.
Test Carter Gordon.
Yeah. Just do some dirty bulking.
It's like in the NBA in the off season, all of the rookies every single one of them, without fail, puts on 15 pounds of muscle. Not 14, not 20, not 10, 15 pounds every single time. That's because anything over that is beyond the limit of a human body to put on in an off season. So they always say, oh, he put on 15 pounds, but he probably put on 30. But they don't want to be like, he's put on more muscle because then they test them.
Yeah.
Same thing when a white guy dunks in the NBA. Next day, random drug test. Every time. Every single time. White guy dunks, all of a sudden the, what are they called? The USADA show up the next day.
Yeah.
Just in this cup here, mate.
What's that guy McClung? Didn't he win the dunk competition?
Mac McClung.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
He must be tested every week.
He was in the G League at that point when, actually I think a team signed him to like a 10-day contract just so he could go and do the dunk contest.
Would you rather be a bench player in the NBA who hardly gets any time?
Yeah.
You're just warming the pine and doing high fives and
Waving
pretending
my towel.
Yeah, wave your towel around. Or would you be back-to-back NBA All-Star Slam Dunk competition winner and play in the G League?
Oh, NBA. I think NBA.
You really?
Yeah.
You're not getting any game time. You might get a couple of minutes a season.
And you're just getting your ass busted in practice.
Yeah,
So that would be pretty brutal. The guys in the G League as well, there's always a guy in the G League who's averaging like 40-something points because they're all looking out for themselves. 2-time dunk champ.
And you're always in contention, but you're back-to-back. You could go 3. You're talking, you're nationwide TV. You're probably going to get sponsorship out of the back of it.
You definitely get a sponsorship.
You kick ass at dunking. You're doing fucking between the legs or behind the head. Fucking,
I'm in the hoop.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm still going in the league.
Are you?
Yeah, I think you just get, the minimum salary is $1 million a year.
Okay.
So you're already on quite decent money.
No one's queuing up to sponsor you though, are they?
No, they're not. But I guess I could play for the Tall Blacks. I suppose if you win the dunk contest, you could play for the Tall Blacks too.
Yeah.
I just would like to have NBA player on my CV.
Okay. I'm going dunk.
You're going dunk
I'm
contest?
going dunk because I reckon you've got longevity in your career because you're like 3-time, 2-time world dunk champ and you can just head down and do some dunks down at Vic Park.
Yeah.
For 10 grand for a sponsor. Meanwhile, you're sponsored by Up the Yin Yang. You're pretty much
that is a good point.
You're Ricky Bobby for the rest of your life. You're covered in logos.
Yeah, and you just show up and you do your dunk contest. You could travel the world doing that, genuinely.
Yeah, and I don't reckon many people would remember Manaia Stewart on the bench for the Timberwolves, who played no minutes in the 24. But you'll remember Manaia Stewart, who won back-to-back All-Star Slam Dunk competition.
Yeah, I tell you what, if we won a championship, I'd make a name for myself at the parade. But,
you'd have your ring. You'd be walking around with your ring.
100%. I ran 2 half marathons and I wear the medals still to this day.
Under your T-shirt right now.
Under my T-shirt. My missus hates it because when I get up to go piss in the middle of the night, the jingling wakes her up. I'd go NBA. You'd go.
Okay, I'm going slam dunk.
You'd go dunk contest? Yeah, I quite like that. All right, let's take a quick break. Then when we come back, we've got a new segment that I've been wanting to do for a while. I figure the Super Rugby semi-finals are as good a time as any to do it. So we'll debut that right after this ad break. Something that blokes like to do, Lane, sitting around at the pub in a car on the way back from the field days as we did yesterday.
Whack off.
Is whack off. And so for today's podcast, we're going to whack off for the next segment. No, it is just talk about old players.
Yeah.
Dudes can sit at a pub and just list old rugby battlers for hours on end. And so I wanted to take a look back at some of the great Super Rugby teams. For Throwback Thursday this week, I wanted to go back to the last time that these teams have played each other in the semi-finals.
Yeah.
And we'll do it again next week before the final. So the last time that the Canes met the Chiefs in the semi-finals of Super Rugby was in 2016. That was the year that the Canes won it.
Yep.
And the teams back then, I actually was surprised by how similar the Chiefs team was. How many players are still there? Because 2016 is, 8 years ago. It is a long time ago. It feels like it was just last year, but it was a long time ago. So let me run through the Chiefs team. First, Damien McKenzie.
He must have been so young.
Yeah.
He must have been just 20 maybe? Or 21, 22?
Yeah, he does kind of feel like he's been around forever, but yeah, he must have been. Sam McNichol.
Never heard of him.
No, neither. Seta Tamanivalu was in at centre.
Yeah.
Anton Leonard-Brown was at second 5
Very
still.
young, a young dobro.
Yes. Irish winger James Lowe was still on the wing for the Chiefs at that point, and the first 5 was none other than Aaron Cruden.
Yep. Remember him fondly.
TKB was the halfback. Tom Sanders, Sam Cane, and Talena Siu were the loose forward trio.
Not a great loose forward trio. I'm obviously Sam Cane, but Tom Sanders and Siu.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Brody Retallick was in there alongside Dominic Bird, so a great second row. Atu Morley, Nathan Harris, and Kane Hames were in the front row. With a bench of Hika Elliott, Siegfried Fissihoy, Mitch Graham, Lachlan Boshier, Tavita Kaloa Matangi, Brad Weber, and Tony Pulu, and Shooter Stevenson was on the bench as well.
So very young Shooter Stevenson. Yeah, on paper, not the greatest Chiefs lineup, if I'm honest.
No, it was a far cry from the back-to-back Chiefs.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting looking at the team this weekend and how many of those dudes have been in this team for so long.
Yeah, Dobro, McKenzie, Stevenson.
Yeah, I had no idea that Stevenson was in there.
Nathan Harris is still in the wider squad as well.
Is he?
Chiefs, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
So a lot of continuity there at the Chiefs. Unfortunately, they did go down to the eventual champions, the Hurricanes.
So hit me with the Hurricanes old schools.
I love this. It starts with Waddle-Lad podcaster and Crusaders assistant coach James Marshall.
Not the cricketing James Marshall. Not the curly-headed James Marshall.
Not the twin. No, James Marshall was the fullback that year. Corey Jane was on 1 week.
Yeah.
Matt Proctor was the centre. Willis Halaholo was the second five. Jason Woodward on the other wing.
Never heard of him.
Bowden Barrett, of course, was the first five. TJ Perenara, who will be playing this weekend as well. The loose forward trio is powerful. Victor Vito, Artie Savia, Brad Shields.
Jesus.
That is mighty.
Well, you got Shields is playing again this weekend.
Yes.
I think he's off the bench again, maybe. Yeah.
Victor Vito's shirtless in an ad going around social media at the moment, which I actually quite like. Michael Fatialofa and Vaya Fafita were the second rowers. Vaya Fafita, I thought, was one of those unlucky sort of...
Yeah. His nickname was 10-foot Fafita on the ACC, and I think he went overseas
he did
pretty early.
Pretty early, yeah. It was just one of those ones where he sort of saw the writing on the wall and was like, I don't think I'm going to lock down either a six or a second row.
Oh, probably wise, actually, at the time, because you had Whitelock and Retallick as well in those locking stocks.
And Doggerel.
Yeah.
Who, Doggerel played all of the positions that Vaya Fafita did. Ben May, Ricky Riccatelli, Lonnie Uhila were the front row. Ben May, an absolute monster. Ricky Riccatelli with a South African flag next to his name.
Interesting.
I didn't know that he was South African.
Yeah.
And again, didn't realise he was playing that long ago.
Yeah.
Ricky Riccatelli for the Canes. Lenny Apisai was on the bench alongside Chris Eves, Mike Kynga, Mark Abbott, Tony Lambin, Jamison Gibson Park, Vince Ussell, and Julian Savia was on the bench for that.
Yeah, Vince Ussell.
And I seem to remember Savia came on relatively early. That could be Mandela effect. But anyway, those were the teams the last time that the Hurricanes played the Chiefs. And again, the Hurricanes won quite handily as well, 25-9. Only the 3 penalties to Damian McKenzie. And what a year that was for the Hurricanes. So they take each other on Saturday night. You'll be commentating that one on
Saturday Arvo.
Saturday afternoon.
4:30, yep.
They've moved to accommodate the Warriors.
But have you heard what the Hurricanes have said? We prefer to play in the afternoons.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, come on, Dax.
No, you don't.
Just say it.
You prefer playing at 7.
You prefer people watching you on Sky.
That's right. That is right. Let's not call it anything other than what it is. Brumbies versus the Blues.
Okay.
This one is as exciting as you thought it might be. The last time they played each other in the semi-finals was in 2003 on the way to the Blues' last legitimate Super Rugby title.
Didn't they play each other a couple of years ago, but it was all the same team.
They played each other in 22.
Yeah,
and
but
I was like, that's boring.
Yeah.
So we've gone back to 2003.
Yeah.
The Blues that year, they were unstoppable, 42-21. Let me read you through their team. This is why they were unstoppable.
Yeah.
That 2003 team, incredible. Doug Howlett, Dougie style at the back. He scored a try in that game. Rico Gear, Mills Muliaina, slamming Sammy Tuitupo was in there. Joe Roko Thoko was on one wing. That's a back line.
You got Rocco
Carlos
Thoko.
Spencer at 10.
Oh!
Rocco Thoko, that's basically an All Black. I mean, they all were All Blacks in their own rights, but that is almost an All Black backline. Steve Devine in there underneath the Australian flag. He would go on to represent the All Blacks as well. Xavier Rush was number 8. Daniel Braid.
Yep.
Justin Collins, fake Jerry Collins, was in there. Ali Williams, was in the second row alongside Angus MacDonald. The front row consisted of Deacon Manu, Kevin Mialamu, and the mighty Case Muse.
That is good. That's a good team.
That is a powerful team. They had Tony Woodcock on the bench.
And Brad Meeker.
David Gibson, Irene Ie, and Lee Stensness.
Tell you, they're my favourite Irene Ie sledge at a Blues game. When he came on, he knocked it on, and a guy just stood up and went, "You know what your problem is, Irene Ie? Too many vowels. Not enough consonants." It was the smartest sledge I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And it didn't get the credit it deserved. And everyone else is like, "Oh, shut up, dickhead."
You wouldn't want to play that guy at Scrabble. He'd kick your ass when he pulls out a Rennie IE for a triple word
So
score.
Brumby-wise, I'm looking, I want Stephen Larkhams, I want Gregans.
I know, it's actually a little bit disappointing. There's a few of those players not missing. I was, in my mind, again, Mandela effect, I was imagining your Mortlocks, your Larkhams, not in this team. The team reads thusly: Joe Roff.
Oh, that's right. He was a real Mitchell Stark of a man, eh? He had quite a lot of pockmarks.
Yep. Joe Roff is at the back. Damien McAnally, Joel Wilson, Pat Howard, Mark Gerard, Mark Bartholomew. This is not the Brumbies backline you're thinking of.
No.
And presumably that's why they got humped. Now we get into the good stuff. George Gregan was in there at halfback. Scott Farver, George Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Open side flanker. Tamaiti Horua, Dan Vickerman was a lock. David Griffin, Ben Darwin, Jeremy Paul.
Yes, the hooker.
The hooker.
Was he a Kiwi?
He was a Kiwi, yeah. Remains a Kiwi. He lives in Australia.
Yeah.
It's quite funny. I, in a past life in the mainstream media, had quite a few dealings with him. And on Rugby 07 on PlayStation, he had like a 90-something speed rating. So whenever we were picking teams, it was a race to get Jeremy Paul because we were like, there's some sort of glitch in the system where he's as fast as Doug Howlett on this game. And so when I talked to him one day, I was just like, Jeremy, like, I told him the whole story about Rugby 07. I was like, who did you pay off at EA Sports to get that rating? And he was just like, go back and watch the tape, mate. I was fucking quick. So, yeah, Jeremy Paul was in there. Bill Young was the front row. The bench, basically. Justin Harrison was on the bench.
Oh, yeah. Funkhauser.
Funkhauser, who's doing the commentary at the moment. And so that was the team. So, again, yeah, it was a far cry. So, the Larkham that would they have come in?
No, I think they'd gone by then.
Done by then.
Yeah.
Because that's what I remember. Yeah, Sterling Mortlocks, your Larkhams.
Unless they were injured.
Potentially.
Yeah.
The final scoreline in that one was 42 plays 21. So that
I think
was
it's going to be.
2003.
I think it's going to be a similar score.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it's going to be similar. I think it'll be pretty high scoring.
Blues on paper look a lot better.
Yeah. We'll get into that tomorrow.
We will get into that tomorrow. So yeah, Throwback Thursday.
I like it.
Just blokes sitting around talking about old footy players. I think we're onto a winner here. We have a mountain of voicemails to get through, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with yours, please.
Yours, please. Brought to you by Leader, home of the lasagna topper.
For new listeners to the podcast, this is your opportunity to get involved. We have a microphone button on the iHeartRadio app. So you go to the podcast, you click the microphone button, you record a message. I think the limit's 30 seconds.
It is, yeah, which is good, actually. Otherwise, I think some of these could go on.
Yes, they could. So without any further ado, let's get into them. Caller one, yours, please.
Yeah, g'day Murray, first time caller, long time listener. I'm heading along to the Blues vs Brumbies game this afternoon, this Friday. Bought myself a ticket, $35, probably in the wet in Auckland. It's going to be pissing with rain. And I'm looking forward to, my round boys, $45. Some watered down Spates. Can't beat it, eh? The live experience of rugby. Can't beat it. Hooroo, fuck South Canterbury.
I'm hearing it.
Yeah, and look, I've just looked at the forecast. He is right. It's thunderstorms possibly overnight, but it's becoming more persistent and heavier late evening.
Very
so that
frightening.
might get away with it, actually. You might just get away with it before the game, but unless it comes a bit earlier. But rain developing this afternoon. I didn't know that. I hadn't even bothered looking. The weather's been so good the last few days, I've just presumed. That's going to change the dynamic of this match.
You think so?
Yeah.
In favour of the Brumbies? You think they like the wet?
I just don't know if the Blues like the wet.
They don't seem to, for a team that plays in the wet quite often.
I don't know. They've just got backs that like to play a bit of Raz-Daz.
Yeah, they do.
So I don't know. I didn't know that. But yeah, look, God bless you for getting a ticket and going along.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Blues will appreciate it. Admittedly, the experience at Eden Park has got a lot better. They've put a lot more show lights in. They have a band going around, stuff like that. But
Are they taking a marching band going on?
But like we said, I think the crux of your match day experience relies in your F&B. So
Yeah.
once, and don't say you're going to serve craft beer and that makes the experience better. It
doesn't.
It's not. It's the price.
Yeah, and that's them trying to justify the price.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like, oh, we got these crafties on. It's like, no, I don't want that. I
How about a $5 can of Export Ultra?
That's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
And I don't want to miss the game to get them either. You know, if I'm sitting with three of my mates, one of us should be able to shoot up and come back and just miss a couple of phases of play.
How about a can of Export Ultra and a bag of Snacker Changies for $6?
And a topper at halftime.
Yeah, and just get set back to your dead. That's where you get. That's the game day package. Maybe it's included in your ticket.
And a Leisure Club hoodie.
Yeah.
$10 in dear TAB account. And free delivery from Delivery Easy the next morning
right.
for breakfast.
And look, and if you're building a home, we could put in some fully insulated concrete foundations from Maxraft.
Well, we could and I tell you what, two birds, one stone. We could renovate Eden Park for them as well.
and put fully insulated concrete foundations
Yes,
in.
yeah, 100%.
There you go.
I think we've got all bases covered.
Well, good luck to you tonight. Good on you for going along.
Tomorrow night.
Oh, tomorrow night, sorry.
Yeah, we're all at sea. Another caller here. Yours, please.
G'day lads, hey, just a quick one. In regards to beers at the footy, why don't they start selling the 440ml cans? Because that's like a 30% increase from the 330ml cans. Lower the price by a couple of bucks, and you've got yourself a winner. You know, you can order 2 or 3 at a time, heavy days, and then you're not lining up so often. I don't know, just a thought. Hey, Rory, cheers.
I like his thinking.
Yeah.
Issue for me, it works in the winter because your beer doesn't get cold.
Yeah.
Get warm, sorry.
Yeah.
My issue with the big King cans is when you've got them in your hand.
And they do get warm.
Yeah, that bottom third. So they'll need to come with some sort of coolie.
Oh, yeah, well, we can sort that.
Yeah, we can sort the coolie.
Little ACC coolie. We used to make gloves for beer festivals.
Yes, right. We had the drinking gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah, to stop your beer getting warm. I like it, but you know what? There'll be some licensing bullshit around the size of your drink.
At Mount Smart, you can get 440 cans.
Yeah?
Yeah, of a competitor's product that I shan't name. But I think that I do genuinely think that that's a good idea.
Yeah.
More volume, then you don't have to get up as often. I'd go as far as to say the 500ml cans.
Have you seen those stacker cups? We tried to get some in where basically they're big plastic cups with a handle on the side. So you don't have your hand around the cup making it warm. Oh. And then you can stack them on top of each other. So you can bring back 10 beers if you want stacked on top of each other. And the handle clips into the top handle.
No, I haven't seen them.
Oh, the stack cups, they're fucking great. South Africa have nailed it. If you any game in South Africa you see, they're all got the stack cups. It's like a mini jug.
Oh, and if the trade-off is I've got to put up with the Vuvuzela, then so be it.
Yeah, well, you pay a deposit at the start, but fuck, I mean, they rinse you at festivals for those stupid plastic cups anyway.
Yeah. I think the 440ml can's a great idea. I just hope, because I'm terrible with maths, that when he said that it's 10% more, that he's right. Because if he's not, the people will come for him in the voicemails. We are sticklers for mathematics here on this podcast.
Well, we aren't. But
we aren't, but the wider audience is. You and I personally are atrocious. I once added 9 and 6 together to get 18.
Yeah, that was quite something. And then you added it together again and still got it wrong.
I got 14.
Yeah.
I got further away. Math not my strong suit. Another caller here. Yours, please.
When I'm driving downtown with the girl I love, and I'm like, fuck South Canterbury!
Thank you. Bit of CeeLo Green there. I like to think that that's someone saying, welcome back to the podcast, Manaia, after being away for a while.
I'd interpret that as the same.
Yeah. Another caller here. Yours, please.
These courtside rugby field seat ticket things, is that not similar to the KFC box that they've done at Eden Park?
Yeah.
If you guys did one, it'd be a lot better. A little bit of a beer lounge, live commentary lounge. Got cramming the caravan even. Cramming the caravan, couple of exports, couple of toppers, bit of mischief. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I mean, the KFC thing is fine. It's just like a little container that fits 20 people.
They put it in the worst spot, though. It's always in the corner.
I'm talking proper sideline. I'm talking like you are sitting next to the players.
Yeah.
Like there's effing and blinding, the coach is yelling, like there's chaos all around you, like the NBA.
Yes, yeah.
And maybe on the other side where there aren't the players, that's where you have the beer festival. Because I went to Eden Park the other day for a conference, and you're right. the Breakers could play at the same time on the far side of Eden Park, from where the players sit. There is so much room between the sideline and the stand that you could do a double header. Breakers, Blues.
Yeah, and I've seen they tried a couple of years ago. I went to a couple of games. They'd set up like a stand, and there was a couch on there, and there were people sitting on that couch watching the game. But it was just like a few radio hosts or something. It wasn't like people could buy the tickets or anything.
Yeah.
So I was like, but surely you could set that up. You obviously got the space there. I think that'd be a go. We, for various legal reasons, aren't allowed to take the caravan onto most grounds around the country.
No.
So that might be hard to do. But I do like the idea of it, sitting there, live commentary. You can listen to us. We'll commentate from the ground.
Yeah, from the caravan, and you guys can just have your own beer festival there.
Yeah.
I mean, people will be like, well, what if they run on the field? I mean, come on, fuck, that's a risk everywhere.
Also, as if that's not happening already.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, look, if they were nude, then fine, but...
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we're all on board, but for various legal reasons, it probably won't happen. Another caller here, yours please.
Yeah, g'day boys, it's Jack Offalday here again. Fucking hell, how dumb are you guys?
Pretty
It's
dumb.
not the high food and drink prices putting people off going to the rugby. It's the invention of the Sky Go app, which means plebs like me can rax the old man's Sky account and watch it from the comfort of the couch at home while listening to mediocre commentary. Think about it. Anyway, love you boys. Oh, fuck South Canterbury.
Like, yes and no. Like, I agree. I mean, the F&B is part of it. But, I'd say that you brought it up, the creature comforts of home.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the audience are milking their parents' Sky Go accounts.
Yeah. Or their ex.
Yeah. But there's nothing beats going to actually the live event. I mean, sure, it's great at home watching it on a Sky Go account until your dad wants to watch something else on Sky Go and you're in a fight of which device it's going to be on.
Just on that note, I think I'm sorry if I've told this story before, but a bloke was telling me one day that when he was younger, remember you used to have to split the Sky thing, and you would have the Sky in the main room, and then you could pay extra to have a cable go to another room. But the problem was back then, you would just have to watch what the other person was watching.
Yep.
Now, he had his bedroom down in the basement, and his dad was upstairs watching TV. Mum went to bed. Dad takes a look around. Spice channel, enters the old code, pays a little bit of coin, and then chucks on a bit of blue.
Yeah.
This guy's down in the basement. Dad's flicked over to the thing. And now he's got a decision. Do I sit here and watch the same thing that my dad's watching up in the thing, and we have a father-son bonding moment that I can never tell him about? Or do I switch the TV off? How would you play that?
I'd have to switch it off because I wouldn't get out of my mind of my dad like choking the hog. Like that's probably like the one thing that, if you get an unexpected hard on that you would think about to get rid of it. There's Maggie Thatcher in the nude. There's all sorts of things you can think about, but that is potentially the unsexiest thing you could think of is your dad on the lounge with his pants half wrapped down his knees, jerking off.
You'd really have to be able to compartmentalize what was going on.
TV's off for me.
Yeah,
TV's off for me, and a cheeky text about an hour later.
So, hey, can you turn it down up there? I can hear everything that's going on. Which, funnily enough, is probably also what live sports are competing with.
Yeah,
it's that kind of behavior. But, you raise a good point that it is, when you look out the window and it's raining sideways and it's a meaningless game, round 23 of the NRL, you're like, are you gonna?
Yeah, and are you gonna crush $150?
Yeah.
Or are you gonna sit at home with your parents' free Sky account?
And a cost of living crisis. I just thank God that the Sky Go account, you can watch whatever you want and you're not beholden to whatever anyone else is watching. Another caller here, yours please.
Oh, yeah. Go on, chuck a live stream up. People watching it at field days. Sort out the farmers from the fuckwits. Yeah.
I don't mind that. That was in reply to yesterday's podcast where we were live from the field days. If you haven't listened to it, it's quite a goodie. Go and listen to it. We talked to Lee. And we had a bit of people watching. And I guess because it's an audio-only medium, a lot of people were just sort of having to imagine it. But it would be good to have a wee live stream there.
Oh, just people watching commentary?
Yeah. Well, you commentated literally a marble race yesterday.
Yeah, well, I just walked into that, didn't we? It was the Fonterra tent, and I was like, what's going on here? And then I said to the guy, can I start the marble race? He didn't know who we were. He just goes,
No.
sure you can.
It's like, yeah.
You
I
losers.
think he even said, do you want to start it?
Yeah.
You can go and put the marbles in.
Yeah, so and then I wasn't planning on commentating it. But,
No. In fact, I feel like you tried not to, but it just happened.
Well, the thing was, it's such a long marble race.
It was.
It was a real, it was a great setup. What it was a bunch of marbles. It was to teach kind of children the journey from farm to fridge.
From grass to glass.
Yeah, the dairy process, and it goes down and it goes to the farm, the cows, the farm, the shed, the truck, to the factory, to the and it took about, I reckon, a minute longer than I thought it was going to take.
It took so long that when we uploaded it to Facebook, the end clipped off. So people watched it for about a minute and then didn't know who won.
Get any closure.
Yeah, which is
Black one.
Yeah, black one.
Yeah, the black marble beat the white marble.
Don't read too far into that. What it was supposed to do was teach children about the process, again, from farm to table. But what it actually taught them, I think, was gambling. Because they stood on a colour and that correlated to their marble. And
they won something when the winning marble won a prize.
Yeah, that's right. And so I think that was actually an activation for gambling rather than for milk. But yeah, I think the people watching at any event like that is excellent. I think particularly at the field days, it's great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think we should do it. We should get just
a live stream, just sit there.
Yeah, it's like, check this guy out.
There were some magnificent mullets.
Yeah,
and some magnificent motors as well. The amount of time inside my head I was singing motoring.
Yeah. What's your price for fly? There was a man that I saw that has burned into my memory, and he was wearing just long johns as pants.
Hot.
It was aggressive, and despite how cold it was, he was giving a good account of himself. So that has scarred me. So I'd like to move on. Another caller here, yours please.
Lads, I know we are New Zealand's #1 sports podcast, but we will admit that we've got two weaknesses here at the ACC. That's women's sports and football. Yep. I'll give you a pass on one, but I want to talk about football. I've been sitting here all week waiting for you to talk about the biggest football news in New Zealand in a long time, and it's not happened. Chalked it up to Manaia being in Bali, the drinking, but no. When are we going to talk about Alex Paulson being signed by Bournemouth in the Premier League?
It's huge. It's huge.
Well, he's your favourite player.
Alex Paulson is my favourite player. I would have his haircut in a heartbeat if I could. And, if it went to pens, I think we would have won that semi-final. If it went to Spotties, I think we were winning that one.
The final.
That's just the final. Yeah. That's just sort of my semi-final.
So
we didn't make the final. Is that right? Semi-final, Adam?
We made the final. You're really digging yourself a hole here.
Yeah, sweet. Again.
Okay.
Football, bit of a blind spot.
Listen, good news though for the Phoenix, because they would have got the transfer fee for that, wouldn't they? Which was a significant transfer fee for him. $2 million for Paulson to go over to the EPL. Great, good on him. That's awesome.
It's awesome for him.
It is great news. And maybe we should have got Jason Pine on to talk about that.
I do wonder if Super Rugby, the way it's going, not to immediately swerve off football,
but you are.
But I am. The way it's going, if we open it up to players playing overseas, I think that's basically what our competition is going to be like. If you're too good for our comp, you get poached and you disappear.
Yeah.
Is that a bad thing for the comp? I guess it's realistic. Like that is.
Well, it injects a bit of cash into it, because obviously Phoenix now got a bit more cash to throw around to get some more players.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they've lost a couple of goodies. They've lost their striker and they've lost their goalie, which arguably were the two best players.
Yeah. Well, and again, this is the problem. You play too well, you're going to get poached. Yeah. But again, for him, great. Yeah. Excellent. Wonderful. Another call here. Yours, please.
Yeah, g'day, fellas. So Yuvraj Singh was courtside at the NBA Finals in Game 2, where Boston won. And I also noticed that the NBA has started linking the Indian cricket team and the ICC on their Instagram, and I saw that a post got 1 billion likes, so probably look forward to the NBA abusing that in the future. And fuck South Canterbury.
Yeah, it's a smart move. I mean, it's like Joe Jury does it every time he wants to maybe give the ACC socials a bit of a. He just sends out an incendiary meme, usually around Virat Kohli and a dog or whatever.
Yeah.
And what do you know? They go through the roof.
It does. It's so much now that video of you commentating the marble race, the first two comments were from an Indian cricket fan page. And they were like, screenshot this now, India to win the T20 World Cup, come back and thank me later or something. I was like, this is completely fucking unrelated to that. He's literally commentating a fucking marble race. This is how far the Indian bot accounts have gone.
Yeah,
it's a great ploy though.
It is. I'm glad they utilised that and chucked a player courtside, and because that is great. It's a great move from the NBA also, and from Boston, because you get 10% of India.
Oh, as far as I'm
vaguely interested in basketball.
Oh yeah, what's that? 100 million people. As far as I'm aware, there's only ever been one Indian player in the NBA, and his name was Simbula, and he was about 7'5". He was an absolute freak show.
Yeah.
And I don't think that did much for the global game, for the game globally. But you're right. If you get just a small fraction of that population watching it, and they'd love it too, because they love big flashy superstars.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, they love the bling as well.
Yeah, and the NBA has more of that than any other league anywhere. I think we got a couple more. No more? We're done. All right, we got through them. Thank you very much for joining us. It was actually quite a long podcast for a Thursday. We'll be back tomorrow with the ACC Sportsbook with Carl from the TAB.
You might have to apologise to him on my behalf.
I went back and listened to last Friday's episode of The Agenda. That I thoroughly enjoyed. Couldn't bring myself to listen to the Sportsbook.
Yeah. I can't imagine not many people did.
I think I might park it. But we will be back tomorrow for a fresh edition of the ACC Sportsbook, as well as the Agenda podcast. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.